I don't know about anybody else, but this lockdown has gave me time to think about the most simple things in life. I don't know about anybody else. Maybe they're thinking about the big things and missing the great, outdoors and the clubs and holidays and. But I'm just, I don't know, I'm sure you're the same. I think that there's something strange, in the air. And above all the fears and the stuff that's there, there's something really good happening. Something good in the atmosphere as well as something dark and, you know, uh, sometimes maybe frightening to some. And above all, there's, you really look back and you remember the simple things that were going on. Going out with coffee with your mate, and sitting on a Saturday and sitting chatting away and having somebody there understands you. Friends, good friends. So simple, very, very simple. They're for a phone call away too. And friends that have been there maybe for years, phoning you up on a Friday night, few couple of drinks in them, and I'll give him a ring up and see what he's like, and then we go reminiscing about the past, reminiscing into the good times. We simple things you get when you get older, and things like your family there, and you remember back and you remember the closeness there, and then you begin to see when your mother goes and that how she's been the pillar and the open house for where everybody meets, and you think back of those times, and then you see that there's always the certain one in there who's got the heart of the whole family, and they're there looking after you. They're always sort of feeling for you and remembering, recognizing, where you're at, and you may be isolated away from people and maybe no working and stuff like that, and he's always there. Peter's always there dropping, money in or dropping you something from down the street and calling in, do you need anything down the street? Wee things like that, wee simple things. They're the wee things that people remember. How God works through people. People, they're backing you up. Very few today backing you up with your faith. Noel's good there now. Noel be coming in now, coming good himself after, probably should be after 10 years. And, the people come in and sort of, they can be of a support to you and your faith. Because there are very few out there, very few want to be or get involved. There are many who do in a way, many who think about it, but probably wouldn't be too quick to want to discuss on public. But I think when you go public, you see, and people know that it's there, people know you're sincere, people know your heart's in the right place. And when they see you there for so long, then they just take that for granted then. And that's a good thing, because when you make it public, although you will get humiliated, as I did over the years, totally and utterly humiliated, because, people like the tougher type of person, they like to be seen, and I've noticed this in my lifetime, people like to be seen with a tough and the ego, it's an ego thing, an ego trip, especially with most men, and they don't like to be on like a losing side or a humble side that looks soft, and yet when you go through that and you get that and go through the humility, you got to go through it, you got to take it on. And when that happens to you, it crushes you. But I can assure you, you become a better person. You become a far, far more honest person with yourself and more concerned about others rather than yourself, because you've been there. And And there's you remember the reason why you were there. You remember the reason you're doing it. You need reasons for things, and that's why other people don't. They'll not go into and receive the humiliation and the persecution and all the things Jesus says if they did to me, they'll do it to you. And you begin to see that, and then you begin to see how good he was, or is, still is. You see just such, that's where the real love, is. And yet it looks like he's been deserted, completely deserted by the world. And that there's a veil just pulled over people's eyes, and they just can't see that yet, but they will. And as I say, when I go through those, or when I went through the humiliations and you come out the other side, the good thing is that people recognize you. God uses he'll use every part of you. He'll use every part of your past. Whatever your past was, God will draw great good from it. I can assure you of that. And whatever type of personality and character that you are, he'll use that character the same. Does he change? He didn't change Paul and Peter. Paul and Peter were strong individuals, strong group, very strong characters. But God says, let me, give me your character, use it for me. Let me use you the way I want to use in your character. And that's why sometimes we feel a wee bit, everybody wants to be loved, love and be loved, reciprocate it, love. And that doesn't always work because, people have different characters and personalities and they clash, So God uses each and every one of us inner personalities and that to help others. So I would notice then, I would see, I recognise, probably some of the tougher men, and I don't say that in a boastful. I mean, I've lived a tough life myself. I came from a very tough father, who was as tough as I've ever seen. Unbelievable, manly man, hod carrier, boxer, that's the man I grew up with, and taught you had to be tough. That was just it. You had to be. It's a tough world out there, so you had to be tough. And a mother who was an absolute saint, a gem, with a heart of, a heart just gold, and was a great peacemaker all her life. Just lived for, and attracted everyone to the house because of her great humility. Never put herself above anybody, never ever talked about anybody. And people, even when you ones that would fall out with the family, always knew Mama was still, you could always go back to Mama. She was always there for everybody, and a powerful gift from God that she had in that way. That she could look on people and look on life in a very unconditional, loving way, non-judgmental way. And that's what gave her that peace, and which I found later in life, which gave her that, her that unconditional peace that never flinched, never got overly angry about things, and whatever happened, and no matter how bad things happened, she had a way of taking, she had a way of being able to cope with these things in a way that I'm only learning now. She must have had a very deep inner relationship with God in her own personal way. Because it had to be, because I've been about and I've seen great priests. I've been to all the orders, most of the orders, I've been with them too, and lived with them and worked with them and been friends with them, spent time with them. And so I've seen great people there, and I've seen the Spirit moving in those people. So I knew My mother had the same. My mother had the same spirit, the same godliness was there. So you get so we find that we can be of comfort in our own sufferings, and when we meet some of these people, like I would say, the tough guys and stuff, and you see their vulnerability at times too, like mine, and it's a hard thing to see, because normally you see men, when we show a vulnerability, we're afraid of being taken for granted or taken a hand at, or used, or even abused in some sort of way, so there's that, we're more aggressive type and testosterone, and and that strength sort of doesn't want to show weakness, and yet when people are there's a sense of people at times when they'll let their guard down, when they trust somebody enough that they see a friend there and they recognize a friend, and it could be heart to heart, it could be a spirit within them is recognized, something in themselves that's there, they know, they recognize it, they recognize their own integrity. I think that, and I've met men who, I've met, men who we would sit and talk and see their integrity and see that spirit behind the big tough shells, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and it's better, it's greater. I seen it in my father. I seen it in my father at the end of his life, and I saw when he died of motor neuron, and was dying of motor neuron, and I saw that vulnerability, and in that vulnerability I saw the greatest strength ever seen, better than the other tough things. And I've seen friends, and I've seen when they have that trust with you, and they know that you're no judgmental, and you're genuine, and they become a bit genuine, themselves. They let the guard down, and they'll speak in a humble, vulnerable way, and you can see the spirit behind it, the real genuineness that's there, the real spirit that they know's in there, but they put the big front up. And it's a great thing to see. I remember two friends and myself went. We went down to Waterfoot Beach, and we were sort of thinking, was a nice place to be with three of us walking on the beach, and it was sort of we were laughing that well seeing we're way out of the road. What would people be thinking seeing us walking on this beach? Known or past. So and yet here we were, and this, one of the most, I don't even words to explain it. It was just a time of connection, and the only way I can do it is connection in spiritual terms, and each in their own understanding of that, because each one recognized something really great that was going on. And it was spirit. It was way bigger than the three of us, and it was a unique moment, and it brought that trust to the three of us. Brought that trust in there to allow the barriers away, because we, even as men, we need friends there. We need to be able to talk. We need to share things. Get things out of the dark and into the light, because sometimes when we hear other people and get reasons to things, it's a great strengthening and comfort and encouragement too for us, and maybe we're seeing things in a different light, you see, as we maybe taking things on and holding them, a lot of resentment and stuff, and then when we hear from other people who maybe went through the same things, and we get a good deal of encouragement from them, maybe see things in a different perspective. So there's great people out there, and there's great things happening. Don't ever forget, and take time to say a wee prayer in your own way, and a wee time for reflection. Look back at the good things in life. I really mean that. You'll get there's mental health issues now. We're going to be a big time with many, being locked up. But even the toughest of us mentally are going to face times that with mental anguish of this, being isolated. It's no human, it's no natural for us. We're social creatures, social beings. We need to get out among people, our families and friends, and working and doing it, doing whatever, among other people, with other people. We need our relationships. We need to be bonded and close with those relationships, need to be physical. We need to be, we need to, you need your girlfriend, you need your arm around their girlfriend, you need that, they need to hold you holding them, they're needing that too, so that's part of what's going on. And so we're going through, all of us are going through these things, and it's nice to share them, that's what I'm saying. Nice to sit down and not be afraid. If you'd have seen us three boys on that beach that day, on the things we were saying, lovely spiritual stuff that was coming up, unbelievable how when you get in that stage that the spirituality that can come up and the wisdom that comes with it, that you begin to see nature and things in nature that you would never have noticed before. And the wisdom is mind-blowing. Makes you stop, just stop. Contemplate, just take this in. Brilliant. So don't be afraid, men out there, don't be afraid to, to sit down, chat with your friends, and be open to the ones you trust there. Know that the people out there are people with good hearts too. And you wait for the right time and the right people to do it. Don't do it with drink and stuff, because when you do that, then the shields are down, Scotty, because you're going to let everything in then, and you may not be able to protect yourself by what you might be saying and what we're coming back. So, just be careful in who you're speaking to, all right? Get the right people, and, and just try and keep on top of it. And we will, and we'll get through this, So hang on in there, and we'll speak soon. Bye.